Samurai, we have a city to burn.
Well, this has been an unfortunate turn of events.
Even the greatest of games have glitches in them. No matter what, if you look hard enough, you will find glitches in any game. Some games more than others. And of course, Skylanders has a lot of glitches. One of the games in particular has quite a few. In this video, we'll be looking back at some of the crazy glitches from each Skylanders game, and maybe even looking the history at a certain glitch. But without further ado, let's talk about some Skylanders glitches. First up is Spyro's Adventure, and the first glitch we'll be talking about is one that the developers really have no excuse for. Now, this glitch will only happen on the Wii version of SSA and can only occur on the Wii, but in Skylanders Docks, if you play on the Wii, it is impossible to 100% the level. No matter what, no matter how enemies you defeat, the enemy goal will never be met in Skylanders Docks. Therefore, you can never 100% the level, which means you can't 100% the game. That's crazy to me because there are no 100% save files for SSA on the Wii. Thanks a lot, Toys for Bob. Luckily, in 2020, I was able to get myself an Xbox 360 and I was able to 100% Skylanders Docks. Something that took me way too long. But this probably is one of the worst glitches in any Skylanders game, so starting off strong. There's also a lot of money glitches in SSA, probably more than any other game. One of the glitches works only on the PS3, and it involves using an elemental tower, talking Oric, then leaving the game and doing it all over again. And if you keep doing this method, you get coins, and no matter what, the elemental tower will always give you coins. Simple as that. The next method may only work using an emulated version of SSA, but if you use a hidden treasure, then go to Persephone, talk to her, and then back out real quick, you can actually use the hidden treasure chest again and again and again, and keep using it again, and it will never end, and you can just keep getting money. For some reason, I've learned that there are multiple instances where characters just stop moving in SSA. You can move in a 360 angle, but that's it. You'll just stop moving entirely. But other than those, there are not really any more noteworthy glitches to talk about. Surprisingly, SSA has very few glitches to talk about, which actually I guess shouldn't be surprising to me now looking back at it because I don't remember running into a whole lot of glitches. For the most part, I feel like first games in series usually have the most buggiest glitches and stuff like that just because the developers are just starting out and trying to figure out what they want for the game. However, even though there are not a lot of glitches in SSA, in my opinion, the worst glitch in the Skylanders series is in SSA, the Skylanders Dock glitch, which makes it impossible for Wii players to 100% the game, so I guess that evens it out a bit. Skylanders Giants was built similarly to SSA, and it has some of the same glitches. First of all, it has a lot of money glitches. It has actually the same exact money glitch in the hub that involves the elemental money gate, just like in SSA. One of the weirder glitches I've actually stumbled upon is an endless heat wave glitch in Drill X's Big Rig. This one is pretty self-explanatory. Sometimes, and I don't really know for what reason, when you fight Drill X, a big heat wave will just attach to your character, and it never goes off of your character until you leave the level. This one only applies to Double Trouble and him only, but it's still a weird glitch nonetheless. Sometimes Double Trouble clones will just fall. They'll just fall into stone patterns and stuff like that. That doesn't happen too often, but sometimes they'll just fall through a level or they'll just fall through a path. It's kind of weird. Actually, looking back at it, there are a couple more Drill X glitches, so let's talk about them. So another glitch you can find is your Skylander will just start hovering instead of walking. They can still attack and they'll stop to do the regular animation when they attack, but once you stop attacking, they'll just start hovering again in place. And sometimes your Skylander will not stop moving in the Drill X battle during the cutscenes and during when Drill X sings his song. And the final glitch about Drill X is the light beam glitch, where his light beams that he used to attack will just not go away and they'll not disappear, and they'll only disappear once you end the fight with him, and they'll just kind of stay around, which is pretty weird. You can actually play Empire of Ice on Giants despite it being a level from SSA, and the devs found a way to mess it up in Giants. You can actually get stuck to the bottom of the level in a secret area in the Empire of Ice. How fun is that? How about not even dying with 0 health? Well, apparently you can reach that feat in Giants in one of the arena battles, or Thumpback will just not appear in the game. That is also another glitch that you can encounter in Giants. Swap Force was the first game to release on the new consoles. Well, new at the time, the consoles being the Xbox One and PS4. However, it was still on the Wii. Yeah. You like invisible boats? Well, Mud Water Hollow has you covered. On the Wii, you can glitch through basically the entirety of Cascade Glade by falling through the ground. Now, this one's a really specific glitch, but when you're fighting in the arena called the Angry Plants in Swap Force, Wish Room Boom, if you play in it, sometimes you'll just get a giant green screen of death that pops up. I don't know how this happens, but it is very strange. You know, in this Sheep Mage boss fight, you can also fall under the ground, and you'll just be stuck there. And speaking of stuck, of course, the Wii version, you can get stuck in a block of snow in the snow levels as Popthorn. But I'm tired of talking about Swap Force because you know a game is next. It is Trap Team. You know, Trap Team is so buggy that your boy even made a whole video about it. Trap Team is the buggiest and glitchiest Skylanders game, and it's not even close. The reason for this is because Trap Team was most likely rushed, and there are even rumors that the entire Force Skylanders game was scrapped at one point and was remade into Trap Team. Whatever happened, we may never know, but what we do know what happened is that Trap Team is a glitchy mess. This will definitely be the longest section of the video. There are multiple instances in Trap Team where giants will just T-pose and float around. The strangest thing about this glitch is that it only happens to giants and giants only. You know, you think the glitch would occur to the newer Skylanders like Trap Masters and stuff like that, not for Skylanders that have already been around at this point for 2 years. Also, if you absolutely want to break Trap Team into a bunch of pieces, then just use Boomjet and a villain. Boomjet can single-handedly do almost every single speedrunning glitch in Trap Team. Some of these glitches with Boomjet are just little time savers, while others can get you through an entire area of a level. So if there are any speedrunners watching this that would like to play through Trap Team, one simple piece of advice, just use Boomjet. Something that I can't really say why it happens, but it happens a lot, is that when you're in the villain vault and select a villain, a lot of times it won't bring up their correct element. Like, how did that one slip through the cracks? One of my least favorite glitches is also in this game, not because it's game breaking, because it's just annoying and it happens in Time Town, where an enemy gate sometimes will just not open. Like, no matter what, no matter how many enemies you defeat, it will just not open. Again, not like a super game breaking glitch, but this has happened to me before and it is just super annoying. Because Time Town is one of the weaker levels in Trap Team, but Trap Team, much like SSA, holds one of the worst glitches in Skylanders history. If you weren't aware, there are 2 new elements introduced in Trap Team. However, at the release of the game, they wanted to keep these 2 elements secret and planned to wait until Christmas to tell us what the elements were. So, for the new elements, when their elemental gate popped up, it didn't show their element, it just showed a big question mark on them, to keep it a secret. The only problem is, if you have Hoodsicle and you walk up to one of the gates and use his teleport button, bingo bongo, you're in, and you can not only see what the new element is, but you can see the Skylanders in it. You could have done this all on day 1, and it did happen on day 1, so everyone already knew what the elements were by the time they announced them. Great going, Toys for Bob. The biggest secret of the game could be found on day 1, and it was. Honestly, that's just horrible. And again, the developers, I think, have no excuse for this one. While other glitches take some really weird things to happen to this one, I feel that if you have a character that can teleport, inherently the first thing that should come up to mind is that the character can teleport through walls. And they didn't check for it, and it ruined the Dark and Light elemental reveals. So thanks a lot. Speaking of new elements, one of the dark characters is Blackout, and he has a super game-breaking glitch. If you use Blackout and use one of his attacks before an auto cutscene, or before you talk to an NPC, you will become invincible. That's right, invincible. You will not take any damage, so if you use this for any boss fight, no matter what, for the rest of the level, no one can hurt you and you can just steamroll through each level. You know, it gets so bad that sometimes in Trap Team, you don't even get levels. That's right, sometimes if you load into a level, it just won't be there. We can't even play levels anymore. And if you are able to get into the level, sometimes they'll just disappear right in front of you. There are probably still some more glitches in Trap Team, but I'm not trying to make this whole video about Trap Team, I've already done that. But Trap Team is basically the cyberpunk of the Skylanders series. In Superchargers, you can use a shrink ray, and in the Academy, it makes your Skylanders smaller. If you go to the land vehicle area in Academy while you use the Skylander and the shrink ray, and then leave the vehicle area real quick, your character will stay in shrink mode and they cannot go back to the normal size, which means you can just make the minis even smaller and they'll stay in shrink mode and makes the minis like very small. It's actually kind of cute. You can also make a glitch happen that makes Rocky Roll disappear. Well, not Rocky Roll, it keeps Rocky there. So basically all you have is a rock that is rolling around. So your character is just a giant rock, which is actually kind of cool. So, you know, you can just have the rock as your character and it just kind of rolls around. I kind of like that. Do you hate the HUD? Good, because Superchargers is the only game that I can think of where the HUD glitches out. You know, the whole gimmick of Superchargers is vehicles, and there are a lot of times when vehicles will not move. They'll just stand there and do nothing. You can't control them whatsoever. They'll just stay there and do nothing. Nice going, Vicarious. You made the whole centerpiece of the game glitchy. And speaking of vehicles, you can actually perform a glitch that allows you to go out of bounds in the first chapter of Superchargers, and you can basically go wherever you want. It's actually really cool. And there are also a lot of times during racing mode of Superchargers when vehicles will glitch outside the map and you can't play racing anymore. Alright, Imaginators, the last game in the series. Did Toys for Bob try to make the last game in the series the least glitchiest? No. You can famously double your Skylanders in Imaginators. There's a glitch you can perform. You have to go to any level, then return to the MAP, then go to Pandergas. After this, you go to the races, and you select the race, then you hit confirm on player 1, then you leave. This will double your character. The reason why this happens is because once you press confirm player 1 in the racing menu, that carries over to the game, since the game doesn't expect you to leave the race because you never even started it. So it forces player 1 to use that character, and now you can take that character off and use the same character, and this doubles your character. A big glitch in Imaginators that shouldn't even be a glitch is resetting creation crystals. This should have been a feature in the game, but you know Activision just needs more money, so they didn't let you reset your creation crystals. Anyway, you can't reset creation crystals. However, if you have a Wii and Skylanders Giants, you can. You can actually put a creation crystal on the Skylanders Giants portal and go to the Skylanders Giants settings, and if you hit reset toys, it will actually reset the creation crystal. I really have no idea why this works since Imaginators was released 4 years away from Giants, but I'm glad it does because I can now reset my creation crystal. You know, the sewer levels found in the MAP are also especially glitchy. Myself and others have found a lot of problems when it comes to these levels. This can also happen. Imaginators more than any other game seems to be home to the most fall through the ground glitches. Just a bunch of endless falling glitches, and it's happened to me on multiple occasions. I can't even count how many times I just fell through the ground in Imaginators. You know, the Skylanders series is no Cyberpunk 2077, but it has seen its fair share of glitches, just like most games. You know, not everything can be perfect, and I think glitches have some sort of charm to them. You know, a game with no glitches, I feel like wouldn't be a game. And even though some glitches can be frustrating, there are some glitches that are very fun to look at and kind of make fun of. Glitches will always be a part of games, and I think that's something cool because it shows that the people who made the game aren't perfect. They're just like us. But please, tell me some of the craziest glitches that you have encountered in the Skylanders series. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and thank you guys for watching. What the heck? I don't think I'm supposed to be here.